Hello guys, my name is Muhammad Rifki Ramadan Lubis. Now I want to explain a forensic statistic on Hunter Thompson's suicide note. According to Olson, forensic linguistics is the application of linguistic knowledge to a particular social setting. In its broadest sense, we may say that forensic linguistics is the interface between language, crime, and law. Olson said suicide notes generally have sentences alluding to the act of killing oneself or the method of suicide that was undertaken. Olson also explained forensic linguists have also been asked to analyze text purporting to be suicide note, even though the police in such cases may not suspect foul play. It could be important to attempt to establish whether the questioned text can throw any light on the cause or circumstances of death. Hunter S. Thompson, he was a journalist, a sport journalist. He died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the age of 67 in his home near Aspen, Colorado. His best-known work is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, is about his quasi-fictional account of his drug-laced adventures in the city in 1972 when he had sent to cover a motorcycle race for Sport Illustrated. The account wound up in Rolling Stone and the book became bestseller. Now the analysis and discussion. I analyzed this case based on the linguistic evidence. Linguistic evidence are really important because they will help revealing the language perspective in crimes or contribute in deciding the real motives of the criminals. Some examples like taken from the suicide note, threat letter, serial killer confession, serial killer letters, and plagiarism. Here's the suicide note that Mr. Thompson left before he committed suicide. Football season is over. No more games, no more bombs. No more walking, no more fun. No more swimming. 67. That is 17 years past 50. 17. More than I need or wanted. Boring. I'm always bitchy. No fun for anybody. 67. You are getting greedy. At your old age, this won't hurt. Now I want to explain about the title is about football season is over. Most people who die by suicide don't leave notes. It's only about a third victims do. There is no research that I know of which suggests that professional athletes are any more or less likely to leave suicide notes. The content of the title is what is important. Mr. Thompson is well known as a lifelong sport fan and accomplished a sport handicapper, did indeed die after the conclusion of the National Football League season. Could it be that he had been hanging on despite crippling suicidal depression just to see what the next week of games would bring? On Tuesday, he might look forward to a Thursday night game, on Friday to Sunday contest, and Monday to that night games. The second sentence is the no more games, the bombs. The bombs may refers to the typical bombs or the long passes of American football, or they could be referred to Mr. Thompson's erstwhile pastime of igniting propane tanks by firing into them with their rifles. To think that such prank no longer amuse him points to our second consideration regarding to suicidal anhedonia. Anhedonia is the other name of mental health disorder. The third is no more fun. I haven't read a better description of what it feels like to experience anhedonia, which we clinicians lamely define as decreased ability to experience pleasure. But to the anhedonic individual, the world can literally look gray. Food might taste like aces. A friendly hug could feel like a vice as people age. They often experience an increase in depressive feelings. On one reason for this that their sensory acuity is decreased. The fourth sentence is Mr. Thompson to suggest presence of some physical infirmities like no more walking, no more swimming. As well, physical illness is a risk factor for suicidal behavior, often because of how it interferes with our ability to experience pleasure, taking away our preferred activities, and life becomes. And he writes boring in the note too, because these physical infirmities. The fifth is no fun for anybody, and he is always bitchy. It is well known that depression in males often takes a primary presentation of irritability of grouchiness. It is further known that one fatal ingredient of suicidal crisis is feel like a burden to other people, feeling as if other people would be better off if if we are no longer around or no longer exist in this world. The sixth is you are getting greedy at your old age. It's short. He seems to be trying to talk himself or even to turn himself into death by suicide. The important point here, there is no one is ever 100% determined to die. There is always some part of you that wants to live or to understand ambivalence in suicide. We can imagine that a man cutting his throat and crying for help at the same time. The last sentences is won't hurt. Mr. Thompson seems to try to console himself to the act of suicide, his choice or method, self-inflicted gunshot. It's a little in most cases, however. There is no evidence that death by self-inflicted gunshot is painless. Very few people know that self-inflicted gunshot is a fatal, just 85%, and is down from 93% in the 1990s. Now the conclusion. The conclusion of the death Hunter S. Thompson is purely suicidal depression feeling of his crippling. Even though the writer didn't explicitly state his intention to commit suicide to the people he loved, his sentences, so he was serious about ending his life. In this suicide note, he also tells how useless he is because of his illness that make him cannot walk or do the activity like usual, and the things that make his suicidal depression appear. And that thing make his suicidal depression appear because he thinks that he is not important anymore. I think that's enough about my explanation or presentation about forensic statistics, and thank you and good evening.